everyone, it's Maki here. Yesterday, I introduced you to a high-end figure called Metal Build. Providence Gundam from Gundam Seed has been added to the collection. Since Metal Build falls under the category of high-end figures, it's not cheap. And surprisingly, a lot of people seem to be hesitating to make a purchase. Today, I'd like to share some comments from Hiroyuki Hirose, who is in charge of the coloring for the Metal Build series. He is the representative of a company called Decomus Lab. He's also been involved in the production of the recently announced Providence Gundam as a corporate contributor. Let's also take a look at the perspectives of the people who make these products. First, let's dive into some comments about the manufacturing process and structure of the product. Mr. Hirose, who is in charge of the coloring, talks about his views, having thoroughly examined the product structure more than anyone else. From a consumer's standpoint, I agree that the price of Metal Build is high. However, from the perspective of someone responsible for its creation, I can't say it's cheap, but I do feel it's justifiable. The number of parts is equivalent to or even more than what you'd find in the Master Grade Extreme. We use specialized tools to assemble the metal joints. All the parts are put together, and they are securely fastened using strong adhesives and screws. Additionally, everything is painted, and logos and text are printed. Master Grade Extreme is a category of Gundam model kits known as Master Grade. These are larger in size compared to the series called High Grade and have more parts, making them impressive large-scale models. Master Grade Extreme takes that to the next level, featuring metal components and even more detailed parts for enhancement. Metal Build is equivalent to or even exceeds Master Grade Extreme in the number of parts, and specialized tools are used for assembly. Moreover, it undergoes painting and is securely fastened using special adhesives and screws. For those among our viewers who may be considering disassembling or modifying a Metal Build in the future, you need to precisely investigate what kind of tools will be required. It seems to require special tools, so it will be extremely difficult. Let's continue with Mr. Hirose's comments. Even among those I know, very few have ever disassembled a Metal Build. However, let me share my analysis. Having disassembled it multiple times for work, the assembly and internal structure are entirely different from plastic models. The complexity of its construction, the vast number of parts and screws, and the careful choice of materials are some of Metal Build's significant features, all aimed at making something that won't break or come apart even when moved. I thought to myself, you've got to be kidding me. Are humans really assembling each of these by hand? And from that state, we go on to paint all the parts. I do recognize that the stability of the paint job is an issue. However, I also believe that minor discrepancies in paint quality are within an acceptable range given the price. If we were to paint it with the utmost precision, the price would skyrocket. It would undoubtedly become as expensive as a piece of high-end art rather than an industrial product. To help those with experience building plastic models, imagine this. What if you were asked to produce a fully painted Master Grade Extreme with logos and text printed, and to make it so sturdy that it won't break even when played with all for $300? Many people would likely find this impossible. One of Metal Build's defining characteristics is that it turns such an audacious plan into reality with a realistic timeline and price. To be honest, When I first saw the price of Metal Build's Providence Gundam, my initial reaction was, wow, that's pretty steep. However, when considering it's a metal figure with a high level of durability and painting, the price starts to make more sense. The Metal Build series has a complexity comparable to gaming, consoles or laptop computers. Another unique feature is its durability over time, which differs from digital devices that tend to degrade in performance with age. Let's continue checking out Mr. Hirosei's comments. Price is influenced by several other factors as well. The rise in manufacturing and distribution costs due to exchange rates is one of the reasons. This is a challenge that all companies face, not just my own, and it's very difficult to address this issue on an individual level. However, we are not sitting idly by. We are actively reducing the number of parts and scrutinizing the accessories included. We are considering reducing the number of steps in the painting process to the extent possible. We review the overall specifications of the product up until just before making information public, making sure it doesn't negatively affect the appearance or finished state of the product. Every day we are thinking about techniques to improve the appearance at a lower cost. It seems like a similar battle to the development of mass-produced mobile suits in the Gundam series is taking place. The GM, which appeared in the original Gundam, was a mobile suit mass-produced in a hurry during the war. Due to the lack of time, the warships weren't properly equipped to carry the mobile suits internally. They were simply placed on the exterior of the warships for transport. Despite this, they played a significant role in bringing the war to an end. In Gundam Seed, the Strike Dagger is aimed at mass-producing the Strike Gundam, but has abandoned features like the Striker Pack to expedite its deployment in the war. Originally, it had 2 beam sabers and 2 head-mounted Vulcan guns, but these were reduced to 1 each. However, the number of rounds for the head-mounted Vulcan has increased compared to the original specs. A mobile suit implementing the original features was later completed as a separate unit named 105 Dagger. This is closely aligned with Mr. Hirosei's philosophy of maintaining quality as much as possible while reducing where possible both in the fictional world and the real world. The battle of manufacturing mobile suits is indeed challenging. Let's continue checking out the comments. From the consumer's point of view, the price may feel high. However, from the production side, we see it as low or even as something we prefer to make even cheaper if possible. The reality is that manufacturing is difficult, and we can't produce these items in large quantities. Commercially, we'd like to sell as many as possible, but there's a limit to how many we can make at one time. While this is purely my own speculation, Metal Build has a significantly higher production volume compared to other companies. As a result, the selling price is relatively low when considering the specifications of the product. While the price point might not be casual spending money for all our fans, we would be happy if you could support us within your means. Lastly, I'd like to mention an important aspect. These comments are my personal opinions and do not reflect the views of the company responsible for sales. My company, Decommissioned Logo, always respects opinions that consider the user's perspective. When we are in charge of figure production, we actively voice our opinions to the manufacturers. Our goal is to work towards creating a better situation for the fans, so please keep your expectations high. Additionally, there were some supplementary comments on a different page that I'd like to check out. At decommissioned level, when we paint, we calculate how much it costs to apply one color to each specific area. We go through trial and error thinking, should we leave this part and paint it? Or would it be better if this part is divided into separate pieces? Or should we forego painting this area and use the budget elsewhere? The number of steps in the painting process directly affects the product's price. It seems that Metal Build's Providence Gundam has been commercialized after a lot of such considerations. Today's discussion can also be considered one of the hidden stories within the Gundam series. Those who purchase Metal Build will likely have a more enjoyable experience by also savoring the passion of the craftsman involved. It's akin to the moment when Annabelle got away dies on the mobile armor. No SD Lu, he exclaimed. What an incredible machine! It's as if Theon's soul has been given form. I believe that his words were not just about the appearance of the machine, but also imagined the heart and soul of each person who contributed to its creation. If I have been able to provide information that helps those considering purchasing the Metal Build Providence Gundam, then I would be pleased. See you again in the next episode.